Hello. Hello. Wow, that was a big echo. I have my PA in the back, Miss Molly Bass. She's my production assistant, and she's tremendous. She just did that huge intro for us, which I think is amazing. She put that together in about 5 minutes. So you're welcome. You're welcome, world. I realize that was actually, we used to use that intro on the early part of the show, but keeping in mind that I have a producer on the show, I felt like I needed to produce a little more. So we added the intro back in, and there you go. You've got your true production quality in a small screen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our 76th episode of our podcast. We've gone on for countless weeks, countless months. We can count them, but I try not to because it all kind of blurs together. It's wonderful to be here with you, and it's wonderful to have our guest on tonight. He is a Broadway producer who most recently has been involved with shows that you are very familiar with, as of which is Once on This Island, Tony Award-winning Once on This Island producer, Mr. Ken Davenport. Molly, hit that button, bring him on. There he is.
Hi, Chris. Thanks, Molly, for giving me a smooth intro there. I appreciate it. How are you? 76. You're doing more than I am. That's amazing. Congrats.
76. So when I started, I was doing one every day of the work week, and I got to be a little tired. So I've pared down a little bit. So I guess quality over quantity. Let's say that.
Good for you. Good for you.
So Ken, I've been watching your show a little bit, and I have enjoyed the formats. I tried to pull in a little touches of those format in here because I was so impressed. I had to hire my own PA, of course. She works.
How much are you paying her?
Peanuts, literally peanuts. Although she doesn't eat peanuts because she's highly allergic. So tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start doing this.
Well, look, I am a guy who creates things. I like to produce things. I like to make stuff, and I like to do it about the theater. And, right now, obviously, there's not much we can do on actual stages in the theater. And I am primarily a Broadway producer. And on March 12th, when it shut down, I found myself going like, what the am I going to do over the next 2 weeks? Because we all thought it would be 2 weeks. And I have been very involved in the streaming market. I was the first Broadway producer to produce a live stream show from Broadway or off Broadway called Daddy Longlegs in 2015. We did it for free over a 48-hour period. And so I knew and have done a bunch of other stuff. I knew there was an appetite for this, and I knew there would be more of one. So I called my Mary and said, hey, I'm going to do this live stream show. And she was like, what's going to be the format? It's so funny you talk about the format. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to figure it out. And it's part of this phrase that I've heard many people may be familiar with, but I'll repeat it here, which is you build the plane as you're flying it in these kind of situations. And this is a real lesson for people writing plays, writing musicals, theater makers, developing apps, starting companies, restaurants, this idea that the hardest step, of course, is the first one. And then you just figure it out as you go. And what I love to do on recorded stuff like this, especially my own, you go watch the first one and you go like, oh my gosh, I was awful. And then you watch the latest one and you at least go, I'm very critical. I'm like, oh, I'm still not very good, but I'm a little bit better than I was the first time. So, and you see that improvement, and it's like anything else. So I just put stuff out there and hope people like it.
Yeah, well, I've been enjoying it for sure. I mean, you've had some amazing guests. I went back and watched a couple of the shows, like in the past couple of days, just to do my due diligence. Jason Alexander.
Yeah.
How long have you known Jason?
We've known each other for a few years now, and it's been amazing. the bonus that, like this time period, the blessing when you're doing a show like this, and I've been producing Broadway shows and involved with a lot of famous people and celebrities and stuff for a long time, but that doesn't mean they're always going to answer the phone. Well, right now, they're all sitting at home. So when I say, like, you want to come chat, they're like, yeah, sure. So we've had incredible people. From Steven Schwartz was my second episode. My first one was just me basically telling people what I was trying to do.
Okay.
Steven Schwartz, and then Broadway star Sierra Boggess, and Aarons and Flaherty, like all these amazing people. And yeah, Jason Alexander, who I met because he was directing a play that I had picked up, and actually that's going to debut, was supposed to debut this summer at the Bay Street Theater, will be next summer now, called Windfall. So I've known Jason for a long time, and I said, you want to come chat? And he was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. That's kind of been my experience as well. I've just, I thought I'll reach out to my local community. Nobody was really doing much of anything, so they were all ready to come on and talk to someone. But in the same sense, I think it's a need. It's definitely a need to talk to someone and see their presence and be able to have a conversation. And that's kind of what I've been about this whole time, is just having conversations with people, because it's so necessary.
Yeah, but what's cool about what you're doing, and what I think really all what I call entrepreneurs do, is you're not just having the conversation, you're starting the conversation.
Right. And
that is the hard part about anything. You go to a party and you're like, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. You have to start a conversation. That's the hard part. And then once you get it going, it's great. So that's what you're doing now. Or the other phrase I like to use is serve the tennis ball. Mm-hmm. Like when you're doing anything, right? Including write a play, pick up a new hobby, you have to start. You have to in serving the tennis ball, you have to be the player that starts the game. And you did. You reached out to people in your community, you hit the ball to them, and a bunch of people hit it back. And that's great. You started something where there was nothing. That's amazing. So congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. So speaking of people in our community, I have a question from someone who's in both of our communities. This is Mr. Ryan McCurdy, who is a New York person, and he's part of the Savannah Repertory Theater here in town. So he just had this comment.
So I had a theater for 5 years on 45th Street. And I didn't own it. That's the thing. A lot of people were like, Ken, you own a theater? I was like, no, like most people in New York, just rent. So, these old buildings in New York, those people aren't like selling them. So I had it for 5 years, and it was a great 5 years. And I discovered a few things. One, I don't want to run a theater. Don't want to do it. Worrying about toilet paper and mice and all that stuff is not something I want to worry about. And two, the economic model, like for a building like that, trying to put a theater in it, it's very challenging in terms of trying to pay a rent that a building owner might want you to pay if they had someone else in there when you're a theater, because we have such up and down revenues, right? So there may be a show in there for 8 weeks and then nothing. And that's very challenging. And I wanted to focus more on, again, what my one true love is, which is creating and producing theater, and not being a landlord chasing after people for their rent.
Yeah. So what day did you realize that you were Leo Bloom?
Well, that's a very interesting comment, because I'm not sure I want to associate myself with that crowd. But, I said this the other day, in that I have always had a business sense. I opened a candy store in my father's cardiologist office when I was like 8 years old. So I've always been obsessed with learning how to create something and then market and sell that thing. So, but I also say, and this is something when I speak to a lot of young folks entering in the business, that this was just said to me over the weekend at one of my seminars, but that you move forward towards what's moving towards you, right? You move towards what's moving towards you. And to be very open for those, because a lot of people starting their career, they have blinders on. And most of them, frankly, are, I only want to act. 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 And they get another opportunity and they say, I only want to act. and they don't explore the other. I'm not saying you shouldn't be focused and an actor, but when things start coming at you, you should move towards them a little bit. And I thought I was going to be a director for a little while, and I remember I was an intern at Maine State Music Theater, earning $30 a week, and room and horrible board. And we had our intern show, and they asked, we were looking for performers, a director, and a producer. And I went up to my intern supervisor and said, I would like to direct. And he said, that's not available anymore. Bobby's doing that. Would you like to produce it? And I just said yes. Didn't know what that meant, but I said, okay, fine. And I did. And I think that was the moment where I was moving towards something that was moving towards me.
Right, right. Excellent. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's just, you don't know what path you're going on. It just presents itself to you, and you should grab at that choice when you have it.
Yeah, you follow the road where it takes you. That's what someone told me in college, and I am a big believer in, when it comes to your career, you just say yes for a while. You do lots of stuff, and you end up focusing down into what you really want to do.
Yeah. So here's somebody watching. Let's see.
Mary, you are running this. That's what you don't know. I'm so good. You're actually puppet mastering this whole thing.
Oh my gosh. So talk to me a little bit about your governor.
I have to be very careful when you talk about him. He's got some very connected friends. I'm not sure I want to say too much about that guy.
Well, I will say this. He did step up his game when all this came about. And more recently, he visited us here in Savannah, and he talked to our mayor here in Savannah, and also brought all of this PVE equipment. So I just have to say thank you for sending him here. That was very nice of you.
Well, I believe he was sponsored by the Cuomo for President 2028 campaign, because there's no question that guy is running, and he'll probably win at some point. He'll probably be president, and I have to say, he's done an amazing job here. Amazing job. And I've got my quibbles, especially when it comes to thinking about the theater and arts, for sure. But he's done an amazing job. And frankly, we needed someone with that kind of energy. We needed someone to sit us down and tell us to shut up and listen and don't go out. And I'm not letting you do this. I'm still not letting you do it. I don't care what they're doing in Georgia. You're not doing it here. Yeah. And we shut up and we listened. And I have to say, I just said this to my wife, I can't believe our numbers are so low. I cannot believe it. And that you have to credit him and all the screaming and yelling he did, right? Because he did a lot of that too. He played the same game that our current president plays. And I think I learned a lot, actually, in negotiation, in publicity, and all that. And what I learned is that he knew that how to get to that guy was to go at him in the press, just like he would go at him. Yeah. And you notice they used to fight in the press on these Twitter, and then they'd sit down and be like, all right, let's just figure it out. So it was fascinating to watch, but I'm very thankful for what he did with the state and really the city.
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. One of your current projects, I should say current or future projects.
Everything's a future project.
Yes, exactly. Is Joy the musical?
Yeah.
Which I'm just amazed that this is going to be a musical. I thought it was a tremendous film, and the story is a lot of fun too. But what type of material do you think best translates into a musical?
Oh, that's a really good question. So for a musical, they say that when you're writing a musical, where does the song happen? And they often say that it's when mere words are no longer enough to contain the emotion and the passion of that person. They literally have to go to another place. It becomes elevated. And if you think about your favorite musicals, that's the good ones. That's exactly what it is, right? Even something simple as West Side Story. He leaves the dance at the gym. What's your name? Maria. Maria. He is so overtaken with emotion and love that he has to start singing the most beautiful sound I ever heard. It just goes to another place, which means musicals have to be about grand themes, big stuff, and people, heroes, protagonists that want something so desperately and so passionately in a very dramatic way that they would literally burst out into song, right? It's like a soda can shaking up, and when you pop the top when a song erupts. So I think it's stuff like that. And I think it is, joy, not to be too punny, right, but they have to have an element of joyousness. And Enjoy specifically is a great example of something else that I look for in all of my shows, which is the true underdog, the ordinary person doing something extraordinary. And in their little world, they are stepping up and becoming a bit of a superhero. There's a lyric in Joy where she says, "I found my superpower." And that's what it's about. And my show, Getting the Band Back Together, which I did a couple years ago, it was the same thing. It was about an out-of-work investment banker has to move back home to his mom's in New Jersey and puts his high school band back together. And he rises up to that challenge and that experience and finds what really makes him tick and what he loves. Back to your point, like what people love to do, what they're passionate about, why you do it.
Yeah, what brings you joy, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'll say that the theme of getting the band back together, that's something that we're going to celebrate as soon as this is all over, for sure.
I'm telling you, like, aren't we all?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest cliche that you find is, I don't know how to put this. What's the biggest cliche that you hate about producers?
Well, everyone thinks we're in it for the money. I mean, it's very simple. Like, everyone thinks you produce theater because you like money hungry, that you're just trying to get rich and all these things. And let me be very clear right now. If that were the case, I would be doing something very, very different. Because why would I do something where there's a 1 in 5 chance I'm actually going to make money on a show? Like, those are the odds. 1 in 5, 20% that a show recoups. Why would I not go be an investment banker? Why not go go to law school like I almost did? Why not do something, sell real estate? And I'm a reasonably intelligent guy. I could do any one of those things, and I could excel at any one of them. I choose to do this because I freaking love it. And all the things I do. I started theatermakerstudio.com to help people pursue the dream of creating theater. I created a board game called Be a Broadway Star about theater. I do it all just because I love it. If I wanted to get rich, I'd definitely do something else. There is not one theater producer I know that is in this business to make money. So every time someone says, "Oh, you're just money hungry," and not me specifically, just in general, but especially when unions, we get these discussions, "Oh, you're just trying to make a buck." No, we're not. We're just trying to make more theater. That's all that we want to do. Yeah. So that's the biggest cliche.
Yeah, I would hope that happens very soon. For sure. More theater.
It will. Yeah. Every day, I've been saying this a lot lately. I've been using this analogy. I have a 2-year-old. And about a year and a half.
God bless her.
I know. Thank you. A year and a half ago, I was going through the "Will she sleep through the night" thing. And my wife and I were like, "Oh my God, will this ever be over? Will this ever be over?" And I remember saying to her, "Hey, look, every day we're one step closer to her sleeping through the night and getting through this period." And that's what what I've been saying to everyone out there now. Every day we are one step closer to this thing being over. It will be over. We will get through it. The world has gotten through a lot of these things before. I think we're going to get through ours much faster than previous generations got through their major global crises. How long was World War II, World War I, Vietnam, the flu, all this stuff? We're going to get through it actually faster. If we're only down a year, that's nothing when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing this for a little while, I think, though.
We might.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. What's not to like? So what among your interviews, what would you say was the top interview that you did that people should go watch today?
Oh, that is a very tough question. I've done, we've done almost 70 of them, not as many as you, but we've done almost 70 of them, and they're all so different. They're all so different. We've dealt with every subject. Asmaret Geber McKell came on after the Black Lives Matter subject and issue arose on Broadway specifically, and gave a wonderful chat with me, a very truthful, honest, but humorous look at the whole thing, and also optimistic, and it was so honest and so wonderful. But then Anthony Viniziali from Freestyle Love Supreme, we did a little rap at the end together. He had me beatboxing and all sorts of fun stuff. So that's great. There's so many now. I had who else have Mary, pop on, tell me, ask Mary who her favorite is. I don't know. I'm in it. They're all good to me. Mary will throw a Facebook comment up on which one she is.
I'll tell you, I
I told you she was working for me. I told you she's working right now. Mary, put that up.
She's not saying anything. Come on, Mary.
She will. No, not your Mary. My Mary.
Tara Rubin, the casting director for Evan Hansen. I enjoyed watching that just from a perspective of people who want to get into the theater and maybe aren't quite sure who does what and what the casting director may do. I thought that was a very good interview for that. Also, I enjoyed the last one you did with Dory Berenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was, it was producer talking to producer, and I love that back and forth.
Yeah, she's great. Sierra Bogus is always great, too. She's very, very inspirational. There have been so many fun ones, and some of these people I've never met before.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I haven't met, and I'm finally Ashley Park. We sat next to each other once at a Tony nominee luncheon, so we actually got to have it's great. It's been fun to connect with them.
It really is amazing that you get to connect to all these people. So tomorrow, Brian Stokes Mitchell, yeah, and he's got a lot to talk about. Founded something called Black Theater United during this. He had COVID. He also is the president of the Actors Fund. So he's been doing a lot of work raising money. So this man has been busy. And I worked with him as the assistant company manager of Ragtime, the original company of Ragtime. I was the assistant. I was a little bit scared of him. So he was a big star. I was just, I love Ragtime.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Molly, pull up that graphic about the Actors Fund, please. Let's see if she can do it. On cue. There it is. So if you have interest in helping out with the Actors Fund, you can go to the Actors Fund, actorsfund.org. Is this correct, Ken? Do we have the right graphic?
That looks good to me, yeah.
Okay, good. You can take that down, Molly. What are you doing? You're looking at your phone, aren't you? I shouldn't have hired a 16-year-old, let me tell you.
TikTok. It's all about TikTok.
It is. It's all about TikTok. And the other thing you mentioned, there she is. Hi, Molly. Did you have something you wanted to say?
I'm playing pool.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Not on TikTok? It's amazing.
Not on TikTok.
Cool.
Just thought I should say that.
Do you have an actual pool table as well, or did you just play virtual pool?
No, just virtual. I feel like I would be bad at actual pool.
Oh, you'd be okay. Your great-grandfather was a pool hustler. Let me tell you that. He's also a great guy on the stage. So maybe you got that as well.
Maybe.
All these secrets are coming out now about your hustler grandfather.
He owned he ran 3 pool halls. He didn't own them, but
No more family secrets. I don't want to see her burst out into tears and run off and you never told me that.
No.
All right.
Molly,
I'll see you later.
Let's see, which graphic do we have here? Theater Makers Summit. Talk about that.
So the Theater Makers Studio is a website that I started to help people with whatever their theater making dreams are. So people that have an idea and they want to get it on a page and then get it on a stage, or writers, established writers looking for producers. It's a master class, but for the theater. So we have all these big A-listers with video courses, all these resources and all this stuff. Once a year, we get everyone together for a conference live and usually in person. And this year, of course, it'll be virtual, which I was bummed about. I mean, we get 500 people at our live events every year. So I was a little disappointed not to be able to be in a room with everyone this year. But now I have actually spun that around, and I'm so excited about it because it now means that people in your town, people in Savannah, people in Georgia, people in Nebraska, people in Korea, people in the Ukraine can all come and just get a taste or a sample of it because they might be interested. They wouldn't make those trips otherwise. But look, my mission is this. Like, I believe the world is a better place if there's more theater in it, period. Like, that's it. So everything I do is to try to amplify the conversation about the theater. It's why I do things like this when you ask me to. I want more people talking about it, thinking about it, and I definitely want more people making it. Because more people make it, better off we all are. That's what I believe. So the Theater Makers Summit is a chance for all these people to come to one place and hear from the top minds in the business, Tony Award winners, Academy Award winners, on the best practices for making theater. And now for the first time, people in your town, people in LA, people wherever, can hear these people and learn from these people and hopefully be inspired to go make something on their own or make something that they've already made better, get it produced faster. So we're super excited, and we're expecting a very big turnout. We've already had a ton of tickets sold already. It's going to be great. And
how much are those tickets?
Right now, I believe it or not, I think it's a tiered thing. So it's $197, I think, for the next couple weeks, and then it goes up. So yes, go get your tickets. It's like 2 days filled with stuff. If you're interested in the theater in any shape or form, this is the place for you. It's the only one of its kind. The only one.
Awesome. So I have some clarification on a comment just a few minutes ago. This is my mother. He did own them, not a hustler. Great man. Thanks, Mom.
I mean, of course she's going to say that. What else is she going to say?
No, she will defend that man to her death, and he was a great man. But that's just me talking. I'm not. You're just
the theater person. You got to make it a little more dramatic. You got to add
that's true. Absolutely. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the Save Our Stages hashtag. Yes, thank you, Molly. Very good. She is right on cue.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe you take Mary's job. I bet Mary will comment now.
Yeah. So tell me about that a little bit.
This is a bill that is floating around out there that we're hoping will get pushed through because it has some relief in it for venue operators, and which will of course get down to artists and the like. We need help. There's no question. Look, the theater and live entertainment in general arguably is the hardest hit industry by this, because as I've been saying to people are like, what about restaurants? I was like, there's no takeout for what we do. There's no curbside pickup for retail for what we do. There's people gathering to perform it and people gathering to watch it, and that is it. So we can't do it at all. There's no 10%, 25%, 50%. Socially distanced theater. I wrote a blog that was one of the highest read blogs I've ever written, actually, and I was shocked why socially distancing doesn't work for the theater. Economically, it doesn't work. Experientially, it doesn't work. Like, you don't want to go to a show with only 50% of the house full. Who wants that? Just not as fun without everyone jumping to their feet. So we can't do it. So it's very important that we get some relief. The cruise industry is getting relief. I mean, travel's getting relief. And these are big business. Well, Broadway is a huge business, and we need help. And often the arts don't get, and people don't realize what the impact that we have.
Right.
Not only do we have an immense economic impact. I was just in Times Square, which is deserted. And you know why? Because there are no Broadway shows. Because the average Broadway house is probably 1,000, 1,200, 40 shows going on at once, 40,000 people going through Times Square every day just going to see a show. It's a lot of people. They're not there right now. So we have a huge economic impact. We also have a huge cultural impact. Art changes more minds than politicians ever will. That's a quote from a Russian diplomat, actually. And we need art. We need it it'll help heal us, and it'll help move us forward and get us out of this. So, but we're often forgotten. So we're hoping that passes. So please use that hashtag, go call your congressperson and get them to support it.
Yeah, and I went to that website. I filled out the form that's on there, and I got a response from one of my congressmen, not all of them yet, but and I'm not sure that my congressmen in Georgia are very keen on it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
People hit them up. Maybe we can get this passed.
Yeah, Schumer signed on, so it's going to be hard for folks in your neck of the woods, I think.
Yeah. Savannah's a little different, but that's us. We try to be a little different. Who knows? With all that said, let me just pull this up real quick, because I would feel remiss if people didn't know about your live podcast. You're coming up on number 70, you said?
I think that we're encroaching 70, yes.
Encroaching 70, cool.
Yes.
And Brian Stokes Mitchell is on tomorrow at
That's right.
8 o'clock, right?
8 o'clock, curtain time, every Tuesday night, we do a live episode. We're doing one not live. I just recorded it today with Leia Salonga, who starred in Once in the Silent for Me, of course, original star of Miss Saigon. She's in the Philippines. She's 12 hours ahead. So we recorded one today, so that'll be out in a couple of weeks as well. Some really exciting people coming up.
Yeah, she's one of my favorites.
She's amazing.
My daughter was Cinderella 3 years ago, Molly?
No.
3 years ago. Yeah, she's saying yes. Oh, and thank you, Molly. She wanted me to show this. Oh, 8 o'clock.
It was in 8th grade.
It was 8th grade, but you were amazing. I'm so proud.
It was interesting.
Wouldn't it be amazing or like really weird if he's like, Molly, 8th grade, yeah, you really weren't very good. What was that about? Like, you could do better. Next time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, Ken, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You brought a perspective that we don't often see here in Savannah, that's for sure. We don't have a lot of producers here in town, but we hope to get some more. You may have seen one just a minute ago when I pulled on his comment. Ryan McCurdy is trying to get some production done. In fact, I believe he knows about your 500 by 2024. Or is it 5,000 by 2024?
It is 5,000.
5,000 by 2024. Hashtag. That is 5,000 new works, correct?
It's 5,000 shows by 2025. Don't really pigeonhole me. I mean, come on, this thing is hard enough. You're making it even harder. Golly, 5,000 new shows by Russian women who also, I mean, it's like, come on.
It could be. I don't know.
No, I have a mission. I'm on the pledge to help get 5,000 shows produced by 2025. That's the real mission of the Theater Maker Studio. It's why I do that. It's why I do the live stream, the podcast, the blog, and of course the summit, which anyone out there interested in the theater should definitely check out. It's a very inspirational, motivational weekend, especially if you have any interest in the theater at all.
Excellent. And
by the way, Molly, if Molly needs a job, I think I want to hire her because she's quite good at what she does. And Mary, who knows what's happening.
I just want to let you know that I was on my computer searching for jobs right before this interview.
Drop us a resume. You know what? We do all our internships now virtually. Like, no one's coming to my office, so you could intern for us from there.
There you go.
Mary.
All right, Molly.
Mary, Molly, Mary.
There you go. Perfect. All right, go away, Molly. All right, Ken, thanks so much for joining us tonight. I do appreciate it. I will be sure to watch Brian tomorrow. And, of course, Leah? Yes, right?
Leia. Princess.
Yes, Princess Leia. Exactly. All right. Have a good one, Ken. Thanks for joining.
My pleasure. Thanks for doing it as well. I really appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely. Oh, wait, she brought you back. That was both of us. We both did that. I did have one thing I wanted to say to him, Molly, so bring it back on real quick. My pitch, something workshops in Savannah. That's my pitch.
Invite us down there.
I will. Absolutely.
All right. Take care. Bye.
So, yes, Ken Davenport, ladies and gentlemen. Be with us tomorrow night. I do have guests on tomorrow night. I swear. I swear. And I believe I remember who they are. Michael Corbett will be on tomorrow night with his Irish music at 6:30. And he has a special guest with him as well. So be sure to tune in at 6:30 tomorrow night, where we have more locals from Savannah. This is going to be great. You're going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it. We're all going to enjoy it. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have joy. Blah. That's it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Molly. Hey,
Bye.
you want to join me in my my freeze?
Are we gonna sing a little ditty?
Oh, do you want to sing a little ditty?
Do, 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 do.
I don't
The
know.
show's over.
Okay.
It's over. The
Bye,
show's
bye,
over. See you guys later.
See you next time.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. Sitcom freeze.